Countdown works, so I can start my timer.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We're here.
Back.
Robyn,
Tasha.
it's been so long.
Girl, so long. So much to catch up on.
So many issues.
I've missed you.
I missed you too.
I'm glad to be back.
Yes. We had to end season 2 abruptly, but we are back
Like we never left.
and we're in the studio
Check us out.
in New York City.
My favorite city.
That drive here.
Y'all, we're in the midst of a major snowstorm.
But it's no snow.
Yeah.
Just people out there trying to get us some off-brand,
Oh my
some
God.
Louis Vuitton bags.
That's why I love Canal. I love this area because it never fails.
So, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Welcome to Disaster Dating 101. I'm Natasha Renee.
And I'm Robyn Brion.
Come join this disastrous journey where we talk about our dating horror stories
Real issues.
and how we can work through these issues to create a healthy space and becoming a better you for you. I like that.
I love it.
And today's episode is Me, Myself, and I. That's all I got.
That's all I got in the end.
So, first, I want to thank Antoine for
Yes.
coming on. As we said before, for you guys who don't know us, this is our season 3. Robyn and I have been doing it together. And last season, we had not issues, but we had life issues.
Life issues. I had
And-
some health issues. That's why I had to step back.
And I had real life shit going on, like real life stuff going on. So we brought Antoine in the season 2. He filled in for Robyn.
Yes.
And he did a great job. And so this season, Robyn's back.
I'm back like I never left.
Also, I want to thank my friend Kay for actually recommending the studio that we're at. We're at WTF Media in New York. And so I want to thank Kay for that. Hopefully we will have her on a couple of episodes.
Yes, that would be awesome.
So this is Me, Myself, and I. And I came up with this episode because there were a lot of ups and downs in my life. And I had to separate myself from a bad relationship that I shouldn't have got in.
The key word. You saw the red flag.
The red flag was from day one.
The writings are on the wall.
It was obvious, but I think more so because of the fact that everybody has something good to say about him. And that's why I wanted to do this episode with you, because you know the person,
I do know the
you know the situation, and we all were for him.
Team him. I was team him.
We were all for him, but it didn't work. And there were times when I let go, came back, let go, came back, stopped everything. And it came the time when I had to move because, I had to move.
Yeah.
And when I had to move, he didn't show up. So when he didn't show up, and I asked him, I cried. Like, you all know, I will very open about my dating life and the things that happened. Like, I was literally in tears. Like, I need you, because where I was located, I was a little bit further away from the kids, and I was further away from my family. So I was literally, like, in COVID, social distancing by myself, and he couldn't come through.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that he couldn't. He chose
Yeah,
not.
I was about to say, wait a minute.
No,
chose
it
not
wasn't
to.
that he couldn't. He chose not to come through. And Valentine's Day of last year is when I decided we even rode back together, and we had a talk, and that's when I knew it was over.
Yeah.
And I gave him until April to get it together, even though in my head I knew it was over. But I gave him until April. April came, he didn't get it together, and I was like, I'm done.
So let me ask you this. Were the feelings there, or was it just really solely off? Because, like, of course, I was team him. And like you said, like the other people being team him. Or, like, did you actually genuinely have those feelings?
No, the feelings were gone. And to be honest, the feelings were gone in November of the prior year when he asked me to stop everything to work on us. And he didn't drop everything to work on us. So he had asked me in September, and then he gave me an excuse, September. So when November hit, I said he wasn't going to come through. And that's when I knew he wasn't going to come through.
Okay, so yeah. This is a simple fix.
Simple. So that is what I was going through, and being by myself and realizing that I had to separate, that's when I started working more on me.
Awesome.
And focusing on me and learning that you don't really need to be in a space with someone all the time. And I've been by myself before, but I think because I'm mid-30s, almost 40. Next year I'll be 40.
I'm newly 40, y'all. 3 weeks into 40.
Embracing that. I think that's what it was. And we talked about that before on the podcast, where that we thought we would get married. We thought this would happen. We thought this was happening. And so because him and I talked about marriage, we talked about kids. He wanted more kids. I didn't want more kids, but I was willing.
I thought y'all had a conversation about kids.
But I didn't really want kids.
Oh, okay. I thought you was okay to pushing another one out.
I wasn't.
Because that's real. Because similar situation with me last year when I was in a relationship. Remember when I was thinking about having another baby, but same. I was good with my one. But I was like, for him, he's the only one that I would consider. See how we do.
The sacrifices that we make. For no good people. So yeah, I knew that I wanted to get married. And so being by myself, I've accepted that marriage can happen.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's what I couldn't accept. I was fine with being single, but I couldn't accept that I wasn't getting married.
We have to come to a point, too, in our lives to understand that this person, I still think he's a good person. I don't think he's a bad person. That there are good people in this world, but are they right for us?
Yes.
You know, you can be a good person, but are you good and are you right for me?
Yeah.
And to learn to see what it is at face value and be okay with walking away. And
so do you have any experience as far as, just wrapping up or catching up with the space and where you are now?
So honestly, since we last recorded, like I said, I was in a relationship. And that ended off of just because of that. I just feel like we weren't on the same page.
Got it.
With him, and he already had children, an adult daughter and then a teenage son.
Okay.
And, of course, my son, he just turned 8 last week.
Happy birthday.
But for me, it was I want you to be the mother of my child, but I don't know if I want you to be my wife. Marriage is not off the table, but since I'm divorced.
Got it.
I don't know if I can do that. And you've never been married. So it's well, do I settle?
Okay.
And stay in this space. So in that time, I had to let go and just learn to be by myself. Learn to get to know Robyn. Know what Robyn likes. It's a vetting process. When I date, I want it to be... Dating should be an interview.
It should.
Knowing what I like, what I dislike. And then knowing and I see the red flags for me to walk away.
Okay.
Kind of how you said, you knew you didn't have that feeling, right?
Yeah, it was gone.
It was me and a lot of other people that were team him.
Team you.
And but in the space that I'm in right now, I can honestly say I just turned 40 on the 17th of February.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. And I feel liberated. I don't feel like I'm in a rush. Yes, I would love to be in a healthy relationship, but that's the key word, healthy.
Yeah.
I want to be wanted and I want to want that person. And I'm okay with being by myself to figure out my wants and my needs for myself.
And that's true. And so I would, I guess, pose the question, as we always have questions. Why do we hold ourselves back when we hold on to those negative relationships or friendships and that they become stagnant? Why do we hold on to those?
Sometimes familiar. Sometimes we're familiar with a person, just their way, even though it might not be good, but it's just why start over? Sometimes we get complacent. Why start over with a relationship or friendship? Sometimes for me, I know I can't change a person. A person has to be willing to change, right? But in the same sense, I know that if I'm, like you said, that complacency, like if I know there's something about you that bothers me, I can't.
And see, for me, what my therapist said, I was a runner, and I didn't understand what a runner meant until that situationship.
She's a runner. She's a track.
Oh my! Shout out to Kinsman, because that is the song that he texts me all the time. But what it was I knew that I could get out of that, and that's why I stayed in it, because it was easy to get out of. That's why. If you think about it, think about the whole scenario. It was a situationship. There was no commitment.
I wish we could cue music into that. I'm like, Snow Allegra has the song Situation. Shout out to Snow. I love you.
Like, there was a situationship. I could easily get out. There, you know, even though we talked about growing together, even though we talked about being together, we were not together. And that's what I had to get him to realize, that we're not in a relationship.
So was he saying that y'all were in a relationship?
Oh yeah, he was.
But I don't even understand that, because I know you. Like, I know you. So I just don't even understand. Because too, how are you saying that you're in a relationship, but it's like you're not making the effort? Like you said, you needed him, and he didn't show up.
How many, one hand on, in 3 years, how many times we saw each other? One hand.
Terrible. And it's like, I know I have so much to say, and I know this is our podcast. And I'm just like,
look, we got time until we break it to part 2.
Because it just infuriates me when people know they have this other things going on, you know, other relationships.
And, hold on, and so let me say that was my whole issue. I said, just be honest and open about what's going on in your life. And if you're honest and open, let me decide. And that's where the issue was, because you weren't allowing me to make a decision in the situation.
They don't, yeah. And I'm not trying to male bash, because females be the same way too. Oh, that's why we're here, speaking about our experiences, right? I feel like I have said that so many times too. Like, let me choose what I want to rock with. You might be surprised what I might be down for sometimes if you just ask me.
Exactly.
And let me know. You know what I'm saying? You know, it might be a little compromise depending on what, but like, don't make the decision for me.
And like I said, I can either hold your hand and support you as a friend, or we can do this together. But apparently, we ain't doing nothing together. And on that note, we're going to stop with part 1 and go into part 2 of Me, Myself, and I. And we're back with part 2 of Me, Myself, and I. That's all I got.
That's all I got in the end.
Just me. Me.
Be my own best friend.
So we ended with, I guess, my situationship and talking about that, and talking about what happened and why I was stagnant. And I can also get into, because this episode, I wanted to be honest. And I felt like also that I wasn't honest with everybody. Like, even in that, you know, knowing what the situation was, I still, even talking to you, like, there's a chance there will be something. You know, I wasn't honest. I wasn't honest with everybody either. So I'm living in this false reality.
False realities, because I've been there myself.
I mean, think about it. I was in it for 3 years. Yeah, and not that. So let me say this. No, I was not consistently in it for 3 years. Just know that.
She had her fun too.
I had my hot girl summer.
Hey. Cue in the music now.
But we technically wasn't talking then, so let's throw that out there. But no, it would have been 3 years June. Yeah, it would have been 3 years. I had this false reality. Like I said, I knew I wanted marriage. He wanted marriage. You know, he was telling me he wanted marriage. Robyn.
Fraud.
Robyn.
I can't. Okay. He was saying he wanted marriage.
Let's.
Okay. Marriage when?
Marriage
2034.
Well, hold on, marriage 2. But
yeah, marriage 2. That's what I'm saying. In 2034, marriage 2.
Yes. But even with
you got to get out of one.
You got to get out of one.
You got to get out of one to get into another.
And that was my thing. When you plan on getting out of one?
Listen, don't check for me if you got somebody that you are legally bound.
Guess the cat is out the bag.
Okay, that's why I was like, I was trying to be so discreet with that.
I mean, but we're being real.
But we're being so
a
real.
lot of people get more than many people, honestly, have been in this situation.
Oh, definitely.
People don't talk
You're
about
not
it.
the
They
first.
act
I'm not the
like,
first.
and it's so funny. I'm in these Facebook groups, and when people post this all the time. Like, would you date somebody that's separated? Would you date? Oh no, I would never do this. I would never
say
do
never.
that. And then it's some people that actually like, yes, I was in it for this amount of years. It doesn't work. They don't get separated, or they may get back together, or whatever the situation may
It
be.
truly is cheaper to keep them.
It is. I mean, I've seen people that have been separated for years, living in different households.
Mm-hmm.
It does happen, but there are people that are afraid to leave.
True. Oof.
Afraid.
That made my whole blood pressure go up, and it's not even my situation.
So back to the false reality, because that's what it is.
That's what it is.
We both painted this picture together. So it wasn't just him.
Yeah.
It wasn't him trying to feed me a dream. It may have been me feeding him the dream.
You think
because
so?
I think so.
How so?
Because I was that support that he didn't get. So even when everything was over, that was the part that was hard for him.
Having that support.
Having that support.
I get it. Well, mine, I always tell mine, like, you're going to miss me before I miss you, because I know I'm that person for support. Like, so you're a loss.
Yeah, and that's
real,
and
though.
the thing about it was, Robyn, and to be honest, when it was really over, I said it was over. And somewhere in his head, he thought that we would get back. Why?
You were that safe space for him.
I was that, and that's what he said. Like, I was. He said more, and I'm not going to put those real conversations that we had, but yes, I was the safe space for him. Mm-hmm. So for your safe space to be taken away, that's a lot for you. But like I said, look, mine was gone when you ain't show up.
When you ain't show up, yeah, that's
like, I understand what you're going through, but guess what? I went through it before, and I honestly said that, like, I went through it before, so now you know how I feel.
Literally.
Now you know how I feel.
Literally.
So how do we build from that? Like, what are things that we can do to better ourselves when we get in these bad situations? And sometimes we do look for the light in it. We hold on to these people because we see the good in these people. And again, this person is not a bad person.
Yeah, he's not a bad person.
Not a bad
You're
person.
not a bad person.
You're not.
You're not.
You are a great person.
You are.
But you aren't, like I said, you're not ready for a relationship.
Not available. He wasn't available for you how you wanted him.
Wanted him to come through.
Yeah. So, we've got to know, one, our worth, right? What we bring to the table. You know, what we bring to the table, and that we're not willing to compromise, and we can't be with people who are willing to compromise that too. Like, to be the other. Now, I will say this: if you want to be the other person in a situationship, that's fine and dandy, but know your role, know your place. That you.
Some people are fine with it.
Yeah. So I'm not discrediting. Y'all, but as females, we definitely have to know what we bring and just give ourselves positive affirmations and like I statements, like, I got this, like, I know I'm worthy of a healthy relationship, I know I can be loved, evidenced by XYZ, I'm doing this. So it goes outside of, if you're smart, if you look good and stuff, but what's your character? How is your character? How are you within? Like, if you are going through a hard time, or if somebody's going through, or somebody else is going a hard, will y'all be there for one another? Like, having these values about yourself and writing it down. I tell my patients all the time, write it down. Like, write for relationships, your likes, dislikes, and about yourself, what you like and dislike about yourself. Because it's real. We all have, flaws about ourselves that we wish we can improve.
So one thing I don't know if I said it on the podcast. I don't know. I know I posted it. Oh, what it was I have been writing a monthly series. It's called Case of the Ex. And no, it is not about you. Because you read it. You read it. No, it is not about him.
It's not about
It is very fictional. And in chapter 2, it's about a woman. If you read it, she doesn't have a name because when you read it, you'll put yourself in the place of the main character. But on one part of the story in the beginning, I put that everybody tells you about the good in relationships. People don't tell you about the cheating and the heartbreaks and how to deal with those. Like your parents are not telling you, sweetie, your husband or somebody may cheat. This is what you may want to do. You know, you may think you about to get out this marriage, but you're not going to get out of it. You're going to work through, or even with boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever, fiance. People don't tell you about the bad.
Right.
We grow up knowing that this is your role as a woman. This is your role as a man. You're a provider as a man. And as a woman, you're a homemaker. You're this, you're that. You're the support. But they don't tell you, oh, your man may cheat on you too.
That is so true, Tasha. I had a patient, literally, she said that to me 2 weeks ago. And going through where her husband's like been cheating on her and abusive and all this stuff. And she's like, when I tell my family there's different cultures too, 'cause, you know, different cultures.
Yeah.
It's different how of acceptance and stuff. And her family's like, oh, that's what the, you know, don't just stick with it. It'll be okay. It'll get better. You're a wife. And she's like, here I am miserable.
Yep.
Like, I don't know how to handle this. So you're absolutely right. We just are told like, oh, you're going to grow up, get married and live happily ever after.
That's it. That is it.
And it's not that.
No, I don't condone cheating. No, I don't condone people, you know, leaving or separating with their spouse or whatever. I want people to be happily married. And that was my thing. Like, I didn't want to be in a space where that was not like, if you're separated, you're separated and you're going through something. But if you're scared to take them steps, I'm sorry.
It's not for you.
It's not for me. Like, it is definitely
Real talk.
Not for me. So I'll say this. What would be your conclusion of this episode?
When you start to see the red flags, just leave.
I saw him the first date.
And I know sometimes we get, because I've been the one, I've seen plenty of red flags. And I'm like, no, it's going to get better. I'm to the point now, 40, y'all. It's just different. Not saying I'm old, but I'm just not bringing this into my 40s. As soon as I see something, you know, it was, thank you for your time.
Yep.
This is not what I'm looking for, what I'm about.
Yeah. I think for me, and like I said, going through everything that I've gone through and actually being in transition, like I literally this past, I mean, even more than this year, because when we met, I was about to go through a breakup. I was in the process
I just
of
know you through transitions. Get that. Let's get us tatted.
We met when I was in the position to, and I really was in the position to break up with my ex. Like, I had it in my head. It was over. We lived together, and I was trying to figure out, like, am I staying in the house? Is he staying in the house? Unfortunately, we got into a fight, and I left. You know, and with me leaving, that put me in a bad situation because I didn't prepare myself. Even though I was ready to break up, I didn't prepare myself, like, to break up.
Yeah.
So that left me in transition and just trying to find my space. And now I have my space, finally. You know, I'm in a good space. I'm in a good place. I have good people around me. I have positive people around me.
Yes, you do.
And, you know, I see life totally different than what it is. And sometimes we go through these bumpy roads. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we go through transition. Just because we're going through transition doesn't mean it's over. You may have to stay with somebody. You may have to rent from somebody that you don't want to.
Oh, God.
Ooh, that's another
story.
episode.
For real.
But you will get through. And that's the one thing about Disaster Dating 101 is that even though we talk about the bad, I want people to know that there's always good.
Always good.
That you have to work on you in order to be with someone else.
Amen.
So we have a new segment on the show. So Robyn, can you explain? Because Robyn came to me like yesterday, literally. It was like, check out these cards.
So these cards, so they're Dating 101 card games. So my friend, he and his friend, they came up with these card games for dating, and it's like real life scenarios, like of just
and what's the
what can be
website?
Done. So the website is hold on, y'all. It is so to order the cards if you want is www.walkinginwholeness dating101, but it's easier to find them on Instagram.
Yes.
So I would say at dating101 card game. So they were just talking one day, and the creators are Reggie and Siobhan. So Siobhan already had like an idea for a card game.
Okay.
And so then my friend who I know, Reggie, was like, yeah, that will kind of be great. So they got together, and literally it's 100, y'all see, it's 101 cards.
101.
101.
So Dating 101, Disaster Dating 101, perfect segment. So what we're going to do at the end of each show is we'll pick one card. We'll ask each other whatever the question is. I looked through a couple, but we don't know which card we're going to pick. But we'll ask the question. I'll ask the question to Robyn, vice versa. Robyn will ask the question to me. And, we have enough time where we can kind of either dig into it a little bit or just it may be a simple answer.
It may be. Let's go.
So mine is bad sex a deal breaker?
You would get that one. Oh, she would get that one. I already know her answer. What is it?
Hell yeah.
Exactly.
I can't. I tried. It don't work. I did it for like 2 years. It was the worst. I was celibate for 2 years, basically.
Oh, that goes into
this
guy. Yeah, definitely for me too. Definitely a deal breaker.
All right.
Okay. Would you date someone practicing celibacy but wants intimate affection? So for me, yeah, I can definitely date you, and I can, I'm an affectionate person, so that wouldn't take me out, because Tasha knows I'm not really big onto.
So anybody that I'm related to, you may want to stop at this point listening, because my So right now, to stop playing it, you don't want to go past this. It would be hard for me because I would have to get off. And if I get off, it's going to frustrate me.
Because you're going to want to.
I'm going to want to. So, no, we can't be trying to play around. No. Penetration.
It's just what she needs.
If I have no penetration, either we're not doing anything at all and we like kiss and hug, we don't stay the night. Yes, I can. But if you're trying to touch me and cuddle and build me up at night, no, I can't. Because I'm going to be pissed. Go. Like, I'm going to be a mad person. Like an evil person.
Y'all see her face? She's thinking about it.
No.
Like, okay.
But that's great. Great way to end episode 1.
On sex.
Let's talk about sex.
Talk about sex, baby.
So, great episode. I'm definitely excited about what's to come for season 3.
Awesome.
Season 3.
I'm excited. I'm back.
All right. We are back, you guys. All right. I want to thank you guys for listening. This episode was recorded and produced by WTF Media Studios located in Soho, New York. Disaster Dating 101 is available on all major streaming platforms. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook at Disaster Dating 101 Podcast. Twitter, Disaster Date 101. If you want to share one of your dating horror stories, leave us a message on anchor.fm/Natasha-Renee. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can follow me, Natasha Renee, at Natasha Renee _the creator, and Robyn
at Robyn ROBYN _217.
And also, if you would like to purchase the Dating 101 cards, you can go to www.walkinginwholenessllc.com/dating101. You can also follow them at Dating 101 Card Game on Instagram. Thank you guys so much for listening, and good night.
Thank you. Good night.
So let's do a change real quick. Ooh, jeez, I'm taking these shoes off.
That's okay. You be out there.
I like that.
Fun.
And it was less than 30 too. So.
Oh, awesome.
All right. Which shirts are we putting on?
Ooh, shout.